Hello, my dears. I hesitated for a long time to film this recipe. Many years ago, I was really criticized for it on Facebook. But last year, I presented this recipe all year long at my masterclasses. I had about 7 masterclasses, and we made this lazy gefilte fish. So I'm showing and telling you now, and besides, I already have a bit of immunity to criticism. Here in this bowl, I have fish, 3 types of fish, about 1 kilogram of each kind. Before I start working with the fish, let's take care of the vegetables first. I have a pot, carrots, and potatoes. For each kilogram of fish, I need 100 to 150 grams of carrots, the same amount of onions, and the same amount of potatoes. So I quickly peel everything and will cook it until it's half done. The potatoes and carrots are already cooking. The onion needs to be chopped in any way you like and sauteed in a small amount of oil until it's translucent. You will also need onion for the gefilte fish, but it doesn't matter at all how you chop or saute it. Obviously, all of this will be ground up. The carrots and potatoes are boiling, the onion is being sauteed, and in the meantime, I'll get started on preparing the fish. I buy frozen fish for this purpose, but you can buy fresh fish. I don't forbid anyone from doing that. What I need to do is to remove the skin from each fillet. It's quite simple to do. You can ask them to do it for you at the store if you're buying fresh fish, but I'll just do it quickly myself, just with a knife right on the cutting board. What kind of fish do I have today? I have almond filet. Almond filet is the kind of fish that I really love. I try to always have fish leftovers, not from just one type, but from several kinds of fish. Actually, it's not that important. We all live in different countries, we all have different stores, and everyone has different kinds of fish. But I think it's really important to put together some kind of fish mix, especially when you're making these satellites. And don't forget to stir. I have to honestly admit to you that a year ago, also for Passover, before Passover, I flew to Cyprus and did a gefilte fish masterclass for the Jewish community. And, we made 3 kinds of gefilte fish, stuffed pieces, and patties. And the method I'm going to show you today. Take 3 guesses. What did the women in Cyprus appreciate the most? Of course, the method you're going to see today.
And I always prepare a lot of gifts right away.
First of all, because this recipe is really needed when you have a lot of guests. That's how my daughter-in-law used to cook and still cooks in St. Petersburg. Pesach is celebrated there for 2 days. Can you imagine? The first 2 days and the last 2 days. Every time there are 25, 30, or even 40 people at the table. How much gefilte fish do you need to make to feed all those people? That's why the method is quick. So the second type of meat I have is basa. Thankfully, I don't need to clean anything since it's already skinless. The third type of fish I bought is salmon pieces. It's a bit cheaper than buying salmon fillet, and honestly, why do we need fillet here? Unfortunately, each piece still has skin on it, so I'll have to do a bit of work and remove all the skin. This job isn't difficult, it's just kind of tedious and unpleasant. But if we want stuffed fish, we'll have to do the work. As for the choice of fish varieties, the ones we have here, the ones I chose today. So look, there are no rules. Some know-it-alls will now claim everything is wrong. Starting with the fact that gefilte fish should be made from carp. Carp. It's kind of, The situation is like this. It's kind of a cheap fish, but the subspecies of carp that's sold here in Israel. So the meat there is exactly 25%. And it's just impossible to buy a whole fish fillet. You have to buy the whole fish. So just multiply the price of this fish, this carp, by 4, and then you'll get the price of that fillet. Honestly, it turns out to be more expensive than buying salmon, more expensive than buying good, high-quality filet. So no, I don't use carp. Besides, people watch me from different countries. There is local fish everywhere. When I lived in St. Petersburg, we cooked with pike, salmon, and bream, and it was also quite normal and tasty. No one bothered that it had to be carp specifically. So your complaint is not accepted. I'm telling everyone right away, in case you want to bring it up to me. And now look, my potatoes are already half cooked. So it boiled for 3 minutes, cooked for 5 minutes, and then I turned it off. The onions are almost ready, and I just got started with the fish. I had about 3 kilograms of fish here, maybe 3,200 grams, something like that. The fish is skinned, the onions are sautéed, and then we add the potatoes and carrots here as well. They are actually boiled until they're half cooked, semi-soft. And now we need to make minced filling out of all this. If you're lucky enough to have a meat grinder, congratulations. I don't have a meat grinder, so I'll be blending all of this in a food processor and putting the resulting filling into a bowl. The knife is this big. The more powerful your food processor is, the faster you'll get this done. And I'm getting started on this task. Everything you've chopped, peeled, and prepared goes straight into the blender bowl. And this way, I blend all my fish and all my preparations in batches. This is the kind of minced mixture I ended up with, and we continue. For every kilogram of minced mixture, we need 1 chicken egg, but that's a kilogram of the mixture, not just the fish, but the whole mixture. I had about 300 to 300 grams of fish, plus I always added about a kilogram of vegetables. So 4.3 to 4.5, I'll take 5 eggs. Let it be a little more, it's okay. Next, we need to deal with the spices. For every kilogram of ground meat, I always add a heaping teaspoon of salt. I have 4.5 kilograms here. I measured the salt with teaspoons here. Half a teaspoon of pepper for every kilogram of ground meat, so I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of black pepper here. And as in almost any version of Jewish cuisine, sugar is a must. It's also half a teaspoon of sugar per kilogram of ground meat. And next, I need to mix all of this very well so that the ground meat becomes very, very, very smooth and uniform. And after mixing, look at the ground meat I got. It's quite dense, sticky, and holds its shape well. You can make it a bit thicker if you want the ground meat to be firmer. Add either starch or matzo flour here. So, I just looked at it and I think I'll add a couple of tablespoons of matzo flour here and mix it again. Well, my dears, next comes a perfectionist's worst nightmare. We're going to make fish sausages and wrap and shape them with parchment paper. The only thing is, during my workshops, I realized that people often find it very difficult to shape a sausage like this directly with parchment paper. And I came up with a slightly different method. I'll show you now. The thing is, before we cook these sausages, we're going to freeze them. So take some food bags and put in as much as you want to make a sausage like this. A bit more, a bit less. You can use a bigger bag if you want. First of all, it's easy to beat. Secondly, they'll all be the same size. We roll the sausages. And we put them all in the freezer. And once again, a closer look. A bag. Here I put about 3 tablespoons of ground meat into these bags, shook them and shaped them. Across the entire width of the bag. Twisted it and put it on the tray. Then put the tray in the freezer. I've already twisted all the ground meat the simple way using bags, but I decided to show you how I do it if I use baking paper instead of a bag. So we lay out the ground meat and spread it out with a spoon. And I start rolling the sausages the same way. First, let's cook it in a little, so it spreads out. And then we shape it with our hand like this. Twist it from one side. Twist it from the other side and twist our sausage. This is how it will go into the freezer, and then it will be cooked in the same way. And of course the question remains, how do we cook it? They show what you froze in the bag. Mine is almost frozen already, but you can leave it for longer. We tear open the bag, take out our wonderful sausage, wrap it tightly in paper, and twist it like a candy. I don't know what else to call it. And now I'll take the sausage out of the freezer, the one I wrapped earlier, along with the parchment paper, and we'll start boiling it. I have a pot of water on the stove, and the water is already boiling, so I'm putting this big sausage and the one we rolled up into the boiling water. Right now, we set the timer for exactly 12 minutes, and after 12 minutes, we take our sausages out. We definitely use something to help ourselves, to hold them in place. Let them cool down a bit, remove our sausages from the paper, and transfer them to the board. All that's left is to slice them, basically just like you slice sausage, and serve. It's really not that much work, and the delicious lazy gefilte fish is ready. Serve it with horseradish, serve it with bitter greens just like you're supposed to. There's no horseradish at all, but it's still delicious. You can make these sausages smaller and then serve them to people as individual portions. You can make them 2 weeks before the holiday and serve them at the festive table. Or you can do like I did and make a lot for the holiday. And then you'll have something tasty in the freezer for another 3 months. Cook with pleasure. Feed yourself, your friends, your family, your loved ones. Make old familiar dishes. Try new and unfamiliar ones. Mix recipes. Experiment. After all, life is too short to follow only the rules. Goodbye, everyone. See you next time.